Ice hockey, I'm sure it'll be just as fiercely fought out today. Our commentators are Red Imrie, but first to set the scene, Gerald Sinstadt.
Last time this fixture was staged in 1984, it was something of an end-of-season anticlimax. There were only about 500 spectators. But the decision to revive it now during the holiday period and play it at Murrayfield, where there's always good support for ice hockey, looks like being a success. And of course it is England versus Scotland, always a needle occasion in any sport, and the two captains are taking it seriously.
Yeah, it's a lot of rivalry between the two teams, even though we haven't played for a long time. I think both teams are desperate to win to see who's got the sort of advantage in the two countries. I think it'll be an evenly balanced game. It'll be a tough game with a look at the two teams. I wouldn't like to predict an outcome right now.
Pretty much like rugby, there's a good atmosphere among both teams. We both want to win. Even though this match is a little bit of a friendly, we're going to be out there trying our hardest to win the game.
And with something like 3,000 spectators here at Murrayfield, they too will contribute to the atmosphere and make certain we're in for a real contest. You can have a look at the Scotland squad, which includes some famous names in ice hockey, notably, of course, the Hand brothers. Tony has been given the captaincy since Scott Neal had to pull out with a back injury in the last day or so. That's a big blow to Scott, who is looking forward to playing in this game. And we can take a check on England. They, like Scotland, have a sprinkling of reclassified Canadians in the squad. There's Mike O'Connor in defence, and Jamie Cropper and Gary Steffen who'll be in the starting line in attack. There are the two skippers, Tony Hand in the blue top of Scotland on the left, and Stephen Cooper in the predominantly white top for England.
Well, they're already into the first period at Murrayfield, and I can tell you there have been some goals as well.
Been some high-scoring games over the years between these two countries. Several scores in double figures. And the first goal goes to England through Ian Cooper. Straight from the face-off, whipped across the crease. Scotland found a bit short in defence, and a close-range goal for Ian Cooper.
Yes, that was a little bit of carelessness on the face-off here. Scotland had moved out before they got the puck, and Cooper in front of the net was able to put it past the helpless goalkeeper.
And that was a bit of loose play, and it allowed Tony Johnson a shot on goal, and a second on the rebound from Stephen Johnson to make it 2-0 for England. And Scotland's problem started there when they left Tony Johnson with some space.
Yeah, it's just a little bit carelessness here. The puck come loose. Good stop by the goalie, but unfortunately stranded there, and Stephen Johnson took his chance well. Just a loose puck. Stephen Johnson picked it up. Empty net.
So that's twice now that Scotland have been punished for loose marking in their own end. And England lead 2-0, 10.5 minutes of the first period remaining. And they attack again. And absolutely an open net for Sean Johnson. England totally in the ascendant now, and Scotland being punished for poor marking in defence. Sean Johnson makes it 3-0.
Well, it's another Johnson here. Lovely pass from Damien Smith, and Sean Johnson, great shot low in the corner. Yeah, Damien Smith makes a lovely pass here, but in the centre of the net, good chance, good shot, right under the goalkeeper.
Tony Johnson waiting in front of the net, and now Ian Cooper has gone in front of the crease. Cooper now behind the net. Now Johnson. Cooper, and Johnson gets it in. Tony Johnson makes it 4-0 for England, and England have done what Scotland couldn't and made the power play count.
Yeah, this was well played great pass. They just held on to the puck. Scotland couldn't get a touch of it. And when it's passed out here, Anthony Johnson right in the corner.
Well, it does seem that the goals tend to sting Scotland into a bit of retaliation and the desire to create some pressure, but they still need to contrive the passing movements which have given England their supremacy so far. Just 45 seconds of the first period remaining, and it has been very much England's period, Red.
Yes, England have made the better chances when they had the pressure on, and they've taken them as well. Scotland still haven't settled down, but they have made a couple of chances, which is encouraging for the rest of the game.
So this is Chris Kelland. Mason. Goal for Scotland in the last seconds of this period would do a lot for their morale, but they mustn't get caught on the break. Damien Smith on the boards. England had left three back to cover the break. So the first period ends very much in England's favour. 4-0 they lead. Ian Cooper gave them the first goal, and then the three Johnson brothers, Stephen, Sean and Anthony, in that order, and they go in with England leading by 4-0. Final comment as they go to the dressing rooms. What will be being said in the Scotland room, Red?
Well, I think Scotland will be hoping to keep it a little bit tighter at the back, because they've given a lot of breakaways in pushing forward when they lost the first two goals. They've got to try and tiptoe their way back into this game, not bulldoze their way and lose more goals.
So, having won only 2 of the last 11 games here at Murrayfield in the 49th international of a series which began way back in 1909, England looked like doing something to restore the balance.
This is the second period. As I say, it's just begun. There's been no further scoring. Red Imrie and Jerry Sinstadt again.
Well, I hope you didn't lose too much money at the races. If you want to back a winner here, it begins to look as though it could be England. You've not missed very much of this second period. The score remains 4-0 to England. And it would certainly do the game no harm if Scotland were to get a goal or two early in this period. Fixture which they won when it was last played 7 years ago. They incidentally have 5 survivors from that fixture in their squad today. Just one for England, that's the skipper, Stephen Cooper. 2 survivors, incidentally, among the officials. The official scorer, Penny Jameson, and the official timekeeper, Stuart Ramsey, on duty again here 7 years later. Kevin King, the shortest man on the ice, 5'2" or 3" he is at ball. And now England with Johnson, and the shot was from Ian Cooper. The puck trapped against the boards.
Yes, I think that was Scotland to get past this line, which has been the most potent line, is a good start for the period. And hopefully they can get a quick goal here to get them back in the game. They certainly need a goal badly to get this game to light this game up.
Sure, Peter Johnson there in the jacket has had the happier break between periods. Still quite vigorous in his instructions to his players. Andy Allen. Rhodes going down into the corner for England. Robertson for Scotland, well stopped by Stephen Cooper. Cooper again. Not enough support there for Scotland. England back in strength, and Cooper able to take his time in bringing the puck out.
There certainly seems to be a great deal of power about the England defence as well. Andy Allen was able to take his man out very easily down in that bottom corner, and it's making it hard with these lightweight Scottish forwards to get past these big men.
King. Connor. And now two in the break for Scotland. This is the best chance they've had so far. And the shot from Edmiston knocked away by Jeff Smith. Scotland failing to take advantage of the 2-on-1 breaks, something which England have capitalised on with considerable success.
Scotland's biggest problem seems to be just setting themselves up to get out their own end. The England forechecking has been very powerful so far, and Scotland have been struggling just to get the play started.
Stephen Crapper and Iredale back on the ice as the attacking line for England. Wilkinson. Kellen, good pass from Kellen, and the shot from Tony Hand, very well saved by Jeff Smith. That was a much better move by Scotland. Kellen and Hand combining to set up a real chance there. And here's Edmiston. Worked his way through well, but by the time he got there, the defence was well marshalled. Paul Hand. Paul Hand. Edmiston across the face, and Tony Hand with a shot, and Scotland beginning to look much more like business. And there's the first one for Scotland, put into the net by Chris Kellen. Well, that's been coming. Scotland showing much more of their true self.
Yeah, it's a nice little switch here. Lovely shot, and the goalie's well screened. Yeah, nice pass. And Jeff Smith, unfortunately, is unsighted, has no chance.
4-1 it is. And Scotland really with the wind in their sails and some edge getting into the game. Crowd are responding to this, the players are responding to the crowd, and we have a real game of hockey now.
That was a nice little switch there by Coach Kanawiser when he brought Edmondson on with Tony Hand and Chris Kellan. It gave him at least one line that's got a real bit of punch, and they were able to put the England team under a bit of pressure for the first time, winning a lot of puck, and eventually a goal came from it.
England have responded by bringing on the Johnson brothers again, with Allen, Millie, still not clear. Penalty has been called. Play goes on while Scotland retain possession. Goalkeeper is off the ice, and Scotland have 6 attacking players, but couldn't make them count.
It wasn't Scotland penalty. We have a penalty to Ian Cooper for cross-checking here, I think. It was a really bad cross-check because the players were going across the ice, and Ian Cooper is definitely taking the penalty for it.
That's just come at the right time for Scotland. The goal has given new life and purpose to them, and now they have the benefit of the power play. Just over 13 minutes of the second period remaining. Tony Hand on the ice for Scotland has winkled the puck out. Nearly half of the power play gone, and Scotland having to come out of their own end, but Hand in possession. With a more obvious pass there to Mason, chose not to make it and lost possession.
Tony Hand must be very careful there. That was a dangerous place to lose a puck.
Mason again doing some good work. Edmiston, Kennan in front of the crease, and possession surrendered again, and this is not good play by Scotland in the power play. Paul Hand, chased by Edmiston. "30 seconds of the power play left. Once again, Scotland forced to retrieve the puck from their own end, and then losing possession again. Last 10 seconds of the power play. Cooper ready to come back. And England back to full strength. Scotland on the attack. Edmiston loses possession. And the game beginning to boil. Clash between Tony Hand and Johnson down on the ball. Edmiston goes in and doesn't make contact. Edmiston. Peavy being chased by Sean Johnson. Stephen Cooper just cooling things down for a moment. Midway through the second period, it's Scotland 1, England 4. Knocked away by McCrone. Picked up by Stephen Cooper. Perkins couldn't collect it, but Damien Smith got a stick to it. O'Connor. Damien Smith. Offside.
Well, that was a good little flurry there, and it looked like the stat was rising very high. Players were getting overexcited. It looks as if we've got a real bit of competition going on here now. We've now had a change of goalkeeper. Scott O'Connor has joined the Scottish goal, being replaced by John McCrone.
Derek King. Pucks off the ice. Scott O'Connor from Norwich and Peterborough made his debut for Great Britain this year. Actually wearing 24, although he was 23 in the official list earlier on. Wilkie. 3 against 2 there, but England got the better of it. King. King winning possession. England get it back. To Parker. Just 2 in the break for Scotland. 3 men back for England. And a cool bit of defending by O'Connor, just flicking the puck away to safety. All hands. Pentland. Dixon for England. Stephen. Promising maybe for Scotland now. England, to their credit, have defended very well. This is Wilkinson, number 4. His name misspelled on the back of his jersey. It says Wilkerson, but he is certainly Wilkinson. Tony Hand, and Hayes was denied the second attempt from the rebound. Kellen. Away by Wilkinson, who was crashed heavily into the boards. Tony Hand couldn't get it in on the backhand, and it's got in, and that's now 4-2, and Scotland have made the pressure tell.
Well, Scotland deserved this, and they needed a bit of luck here. Puck bounced about in the front of the net, but for once in their life they got a little break, and that was what they deserved for all the pressure they put on there. This puck was going everywhere. It was England's turn to find it difficult to get rid of it. And suddenly, Tony Hand managed to get in the net.
So 4-2, and Scotland are back in the game. Tony Tony Hand's name on the score sheet. And the second period beginning to look as much Scotland's as the first was England's. Scotland will look back on 2 power plays from which they didn't score and think what might have been. O'Connor. Break there by Kevin King. Stephen Johnson with his brother Anthony out to help him. McAfee, England win possession. Stephen Johnson. Anthony Johnson in front of the crease. Second shot came in from Ian Cooper there, number 7. And now Scotland with 3 against 2 to get back to 4-3 here. Didn't make as much of that as they should. Never really had the puck under control. Couldn't generate the pace. England was stretched and Scotland didn't punish them. Roberts. 5 minutes of the second period remaining. Scotland very much back in the match and putting on the pressure again. Knocked away by O'Connor. Robertson, good pass out to King. Robertson is in here. Robertson has made it 4-3. The Scots are on their feet, and we really have a game now.
Wow, this is the goal of the game. Really great build-up here, and a lovely finish. What a beautiful finish. Yeah, Scotland really hanging in here. Really passed the puck around well. Even the final pass when 2 men were beaten down, absolutely perfect, and a lovely finish. Beautiful goal. Finished perfectly.
Well, I don't think England will reproach themselves too much there. They were opened up by some very good attacking play from Scotland. And they do seem to have drawn strength from the goal at the beginning of this period that got them back into the game. 4.5 minutes of the second period remain. Scotland 3, England 4. King. Hayes. Robertson, the scorer, still on the ice for Scotland. Brian Canowisher, their coach, trying to capitalise while his team have the upper hand. You can see from the way the players are going in that this is no longer a friendly exhibition. This is England-Scotland with all the tradition that goes behind it on sporting fields and battlefields down the century.
I think, referee Dolan has kind a couple of players there. There was a couple of slightly borderline illegal challenges, but in fairness it was both sides, so no complaints.
England have followed Scotland's example and changed their goalminder. David Graham has come on to take over from Jeff Smith. David Graham in his 5th season now with Nottingham Panthers. Statistics tell the story of this second period, incidentally. 10 shots by Scotland and only 3 by England. Quite a remarkable turnaround in the fortunes of the game. Nigel Rhodes on the boards for England.
Yes, that was a great fight back by Scotland, and they've made it a really exciting and interesting game here now. But it's going to be down to a question of who had the most of the Christmas cheer. in this last period.
Well, maybe it took a period for Scotland to work off the hangover, but if that's what it was, they've certainly done it successfully.
Yes, I think to be fair to Scotland, they had to settle down quite a bit, being more players from stranger camps. But they've done it very well.
Scotland's squad, with only 12 Premier Division players in it, is in marked contrast to the England squad. Here they come again through Tony Hand. Pentland. Gary Stephan for England. Pentland to start the move again for Scotland. Robertson. Edmiston in the centre.
Yes, Coach Canawisher's move, bringing Dean Edmiston on with Tony Hand and Chris Kellan, has certainly paid off. It's put a bit of punch into the Scottish attack, and it's uplifted all the other forward lines. So that's one up to the coach.
And great credit to Dean Edmiston from the Medway club, who doesn't play in either the Premier or First Division of the Heineken League. Two and a half minutes of the second period left. Ball hand. Ball hand again. Off Johnson's skate. Good interception there by Stephen Johnson when it was needed. And England needing all their endeavours at the moment for defence. Allen leaning on his man. Ball hand, good pass out. Tony Hand. Pressure again in front of that England net, on all 5 men back covering David Graham in the goal. Just a little bit of feeling begin to emerge every now and again, and the Scottish fans pleased when Scotland strike back and give as good as they get. Hand, Paul Hand that is. A minute of the second period to play. Oh! David Graham completely beaten from behind the goal. Didn't see the move coming at all.
Well, all credit here. Tony Hand really moved quickly to beat the goalkeeper in this one.
So Tony Hand's second goal
Look at this. Look how quick he got round that net before the goalie could move. And then really quick reaction.
Well, David Graham, with the experience of more than 200 Heineken League games behind him, isn't a man who should be taken by surprise, but I think he hasn't been in the game very long, and Tony Hand is as quick thinking as he is quick moving. Showed it there. David Graham taking no chances now, covering up the puck.
Yes, and the goalkeeper's going to get 2 minutes for that, because deliberately delaying the game is not tolerated in ice hockey now. And David Graham should know better than that, a man of his experience.
So the coach now will nominate somebody to serve the 2-minute penalty for him, and England will finish this period and start the next short-handed, unless of course Scotland score.
Just to be fair, Gerald, on the last goal that Tony Hand scored, I think his reactions were the key to that goal rather than David Graham's mistake,
Sure.
I think.
He was so quick round the net. So we've got a man in the sin bin. That, I think is Simon Perkins. "42 seconds of the second period remain. England short-handed. The score's level."
Well, with 28 seconds left in this period, this has been a great fight back by Scotland. They'll be going into the dressing room this period feeling like lions now. Rampant lions, probably.
Scotland's third power play. They failed to score in the two previous ones. Tony Hand at the face-off. "20 seconds of the period remain. With Paul Hand. Deflection just past the post. And this is where, so far, we have seen England at their best. Concentrating, keeping their shape, keeping their calm, organised defence, and they have done well enough so far. But what a transformation. Ice hockey, very much a game of three periods. We've seen England run the first and score 4 goals, Scotland run the second and come back to level at 4-all. What now will happen in the third? Red?
Yes, that was a great fight back by Scotland. Makes it for a great last period. And everyone here is really buzzing now, especially this big Scottish crowd.
And nice little turn that allowed him to come up the ice for the shot. Stopped with the pads by Graham. And hooked away anywhere just to relieve pressure for England, and they've turned it to advantage here. 3 in the attack. Johnson. Stephen Cooper. O'Connor was in there, and once again tempers flaring, and change of personnel.
Yes, that was very iffy for Scotland there. Tony Hand just couldn't quite get back to his man when the shot went down, and it was tantalisingly close on the front of the net there. I think it was Mason that actually put his leg on the puck and closed his leg. Could be called a penalty, that, by some referees.
O'Connor it was in front of the net for England. Taffy. Millie was on the receiving end of a fairly firm challenge on the boards, but Scotland continued to attack. More good work by David Graham. O'Connor. Played out by Damien Smith. Coming in from this side is Perkins, but England have lost possession of the puck. It wasn't too difficult for Graham. Not a lot of power in the flick shot. O'Connor. Dixon. is Millie. Haig. Held by Dixon.
The offside came just in time there. They were needing a change up, but the Scots are still putting the pressure on here. To their credit, they've settled down now, and a great fight back. We've got a real hard, tough game going on here now. It's going to be the battle of the fittest in these last 15 minutes.
Well, you could have hardly got a price on Scotland at the end of the first period, but it's a very different story now. Cooper. To Stephen. Iredale in front of the net. Wilkinson. Iredale. Wilkinson. First game in this series played 82 years ago. England won 11-1. Different story here. Highest score ever in the series was in 1977 when Scotland won 15-4. Not going to be that either. This is Redmond wearing 25 for Scotland. And they're all looking at each other there. Just didn't fall for Ian Cooper. Shot back in from O'Connor. And there's a nice ebb and flow about this second period. Not a lot of really constructive play, but excitement at both ends. Stephen Cooper, third period, of course. Stephen Cooper! And there's a little flare-up in front of the net between Derek King and Robert Wilkins.
No, it was Stephen Cooper there, Gerald. And both of them are going to go for roughing, I think, here. Yes, this was all caused by somebody just being a bit lazy going to the puck, and the puck was bouncing everywhere here. You could have got a goal from this right across the face of the goal. And the final outcome was just 2 penalties. Penalty for each team. I think referee Truman was quite right too, because the game was just getting a little bit edgy here, and they needed to quieten it down just a little bit.
Well, a most experienced official, more than 2,000 Premier League games behind him. So it's 5 apiece on the ice for England and Scotland. 4 goals apiece. And 14 and a half minutes left. Tony Hand. Just that little bit more space on the ice for his skating skill. Pentland. All hand, let it run. Crapper for England. Johnson's shot was high and wide. Pentland wide. Tony Hand! I don't know whether it hit the post or whether the goalkeeper scraped it away. It looked as though it was destined for the net. Ball hand. 3 against 2 for England. And a break for Scotland. Well, Tony Hand has put it wide. And with both teams short-handed, the excitement is fast and furious at both ends. And there's the next of it scoring. There's a player down in front of the crease. And we will need a little bit of cooling down here.
And there might even be a penalty here. The referee Truman's not happy about something in front of the net, but there were so many bodies, it's hard to say what's what.
Well, it's Ian Cooper who's going to the box.
Look at the bodies in front of this net here. And there's everybody being pushed out there. And Ian Cooper there looks as if he's pushed the net out. And the referee's caught him doing it, and that is definitely a penalty.
Ian Cooper trying to protect England's net, but was spotted doing it illegally, and so spends 2 minutes in the sin bin. Meanwhile, the other 2-minute penalties for each team are over, so England are short-handed for the 4th time in the game. 12 3/4 minutes left. 3rd period at Murrayfield. Scotland 4, England 4. Edmiston had a good game for Scotland. On target, knocked away with the pads by David Graham. Edmiston going in front of the crease. Puck was loose for a moment, rebounding off the goalkeeper's pads. Cooper, back to Johnson. O'Connor. Scotland lose possession, bringing the ball out of their own end and mess it up again. Against the post, I think that was. Tony Hand trying to make amends. 45 seconds of the power play left. Tony Hand dummied the shot. Knocked away by Graham again. Scotland sensing that this should be the moment, but unable to turn it to reality. England threatening to kill the power play again with only 20 seconds remaining of the penalty. Tony Hand. Edmiston ahead of him. Here's Edmiston. Bided his time, but still couldn't get the shot in.
Well, Dean Edmiston there, that was a lovely move. He's unfortunate with the shot, just right over the top of the net, but it was a lovely little move just in front of the net there. Took the return pass really nicely here. And a lovely dink, you'll see this in a minute. Lovely first pass. Cuts in, makes the shoot, the little short shot there. Got the puck too high, had the net at his mercy.
And the creator, Edmiston, had timed his break well. Five seconds left of the penalty. And Scotland are not going to score. 4 times they've had the power play. 4 times England have killed it off. It remains 4 goals apiece. Almost halfway through the final period. Ball hand. Stephen Cooper under a bit of pressure. King in front of the net, couldn't turn the puck in. Here's Johnson on the break. Could this be 5 for England? Stephen Johnson gets his second goal, and England take the lead again.
Oh, this was a tragedy for Scotland, not concentrating on the man coming out there. And Stephen Johnson almost lost it there, but managed to just slip it under the goalkeeper. I think he might have just lost a bit of control here, Stephen Johnson, but nevertheless it's a goal. He was going to draw the goalkeeper, take it wide, and he just slipped it right underneath the bottom.
I don't think O'Connor could have done more. He knew what was coming, but it's always in the forward's favour with a break like that. So, Stephen Johnson gets his second goal of the game, and it is 5-4 to England. Mason. Offside. Nine minutes, 37 seconds left. John Hay. Hammered off the outside of the post. Pressure's really on here again from Scotland. Yes, that's the equaliser, that's 5-all. Scotland strike back straight away. John Hay makes it 5 apiece. 8 minutes, 56 seconds left, and the game continues to swing and sway.
Well, this is just sheer determination here. And the Scottish forward stayed up there, and what a lovely put away there by young John Hay. They just kept hanging in there, worked hard for every loose puck, and it just fell right. Lovely pass in here, but it had to be taken as goal. And look at that, right up inside the goalkeeper. What a great goal. Right up in the top of the net. Great shot.
5 each. Less than 9 minutes left. Pentland. Cooper. Stefan. Is Rhodes. Desperate defending by Scotland now, and away they come on the attack. This is Kellam. This is what the fans love to see. The shot was from Paul Pentland. Graham only half blocked it, and it was knocked away by one of his fellow defenders. Rhodes for England.
Well, I've got to say that Scotland has certainly been the more positive team in the second half of this game. And although the score is only 5-5, they certainly are the ones who are looking more positive. But they have to be a little bit careful when they're pushing forward, that they don't give the English team these 3-2 breaks.
Well, certainly their response to going 5-4 down couldn't have been quicker or more positive. Kevin King missed his pass, recovered the puck.
Yes, he's just a bit over anxious here. He didn't get over the red line and he's gave away an icing the puck. Another step there and then he'd been all right. But there's Kevin King, one of the smallest of the forwards on the ice there. There's one or two more in the Scottish camp, but they've sure given a good account of themselves, which proves that size is not everything in ice hockey.
Well, he survived 7 seasons, having started at the age of 16. Here he is again. Unfortunate there for Stephen Johnson.
Yes, it was, but we tend to forget that all these guys are standing on skates for the start, Gerald, and they do get tripped up or slide once in a while. Marvellous skills in ice hockey when you see these players.
Yes, there are a lot of different skills demanded of the great players. Stamina and strength, speed of thought and movement, and essentially skating skill. Stephen Johnson. Connor covers the puck. Seven minutes left. Well anticipated by O'Connor, and what a good shot too, just too high. Helped up, I think, by the goalkeeper's glove.
This is a situation where the Scottish team must defend very well here. They haven't defended well, they haven't really got a hold of this puck at all, and everybody's getting away from the puck. And they were a bit lucky to survive that one.
That one was wide from Ian Cooper. Stephen Johnson. Stephen Cooper, the captain. O'Connor. Two experienced defencemen on the ice together for England. Tony Hand for Scotland, number 9. 20 here, Paul Pentland. Tony Hand. Much better passing here from Scotland. A long shot beaten down by David Graham.
I think the linesman judged there that the hand closed over the puck. You're allowed to stop the puck in ice hockey with your hands, but you're not allowed to grab it. And the linesman was probably right there.
There'll be a few tired legs out there now, and tired legs and sometimes tired minds can lead to mistakes.
Yes, I'd be wanting, if I was a coach of Scotland here, I'd be wanting to make sure that they defend this puck and get it out their own end. That's the first priority.
Damien Smith couldn't collect it, and it's put in now by Simon Perkins to give England a 6-5 lead with 5 minutes, 41 seconds left.
Just what I was saying, you couldn't get a hold of the puck here, and when it comes to the front of the net, bounces the right way, and Perkins did very well just to get in there. You can't clear your lines There's always a chance that somebody will just do that on you.
Very quick reaction on the backhand from Perkins. Scotland, can they come back yet again? 4-0 down, back to 4-4, 5-4 down, back to 5-all, now 6-5 down, and under pressure. Tony Hand. Trapper for England. Rhodes taking the perler in front of the net. Here's Hand now, looking to see if Scotland have an advantage, but 3 against 3. Pentland, Tony Hand, and O'Connor for England. Stephen Johnson. Nice little bit of juggling by O'Connor, but he couldn't hold the puck. Popped it up with his stick, then his hand, and his stick again.
Yes, I can certainly see some tired legs out there now, Gerald. But whatever the result, this has been a magnificent match, especially around the Christmas time.
Absolutely
when
right.
Players have had a bit of Christmas cheer as well. Here's a great shot coming in here. And Scott O'Connor stops it well, and then has to do a little bit of juggling to keep the puck under control. That was a little bit dangerous here.
And we are back in play. Scotland with everybody around their own net, and they need somebody now to give them a bit of relief up the ice. No real contact from Stephen Cooper, and now here's the possibility of a breathing space, and indeed an attack for Scotland. Good shot, Millie, that was. 3 against 2 for England again. We just sense there may still be more drama in this game with just over 3.5 minutes remaining and only 1 goal between the teams. England just by the odd goal in 11 at the moment. Heavey. Perkins. Edmiston. Tony Hand. Edmiston's good pass through, well read for England. Edmiston again. Tony Hand was in front of the net coaching. Scotland now with some of the players who've made the biggest contribution on the ice, and there a mistake that could just let in Perkins. Off the post, and the rebound is in the net from Damien Smith. A 2-goal margin, 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah, lost the puck in centre right here. You've got 3-on-1 break. The great shot that's off the bottom of the post, and Damien Smith there to put the puck in the net. Just lost the puck centre ice there, but it was a lovely run in here. Lovely run in, and a great low shot, the hardest of all for the goalkeepers to get a piece of. Off the post, it deserved a goal line its own, but a great follow-up there by Damien Smith.
And all that happening only seconds after Tony Hand had almost had an opening straight in front of the England net. It's very much been the pattern of this third period. England again, stopped by O'Connor, thwarting Nigel Rhodes. But you could hardly have scripted an ice hockey match better than this. One period belonging to England, great fight back by Scotland in the second period, and then we've been on our nerve ends throughout the third period, where the game was just tilted first one way and then the other. Action in front of both nets. It's been a great game of hockey. Rhodes. Full hand.
Yes, it has been a great game, Gerald, and it's all credit to both teams have made it a great game. Credit to Scotland for coming back from 4-0, but great credit to England for hanging in there when things were looking as if they were going against them, to come back and get a 2-goal lead.
Just under 2 minutes remaining. 1 minute and 59 seconds as Peter Johnson issues the instructions which he hopes will maintain England's 2-goal advantage. But 2 goals in ice hockey can disappear almost faster than you can blink. Connor. What's here for Scotland? Tony Hand, so often the mainspring in the Scottish clockwork. Ian Cooper, dispossessed. Johnson lost it. Tony Hand. Tony Hand's hat-trick after Johnson had lost possession of the puck, and it's not over yet.
Yeah, 2 sets this game is over with 2 goals. There's 1 minute 24 seconds to go, and this game is still on. Bad mistake by Stephen Cooker, Stephen Johnson. Lovely pass in, and a great shot by Tony Hand. Always a danger losing the puck just inside your own blue line. Just fell right, but it was a lovely pass nevertheless. And a good finish, just under the goalkeeper's leg. Just through the legs there.
Tony Hand is the all-time leading point scorer in the Heineken League. And his value to Scotland over the years, incalculable. Chance to savour his goal again there. You're missing nothing because we've had a timeout called. I wonder what the instructions would be here to England.
Well, if I was Peter Johnson, he'll be putting 4 men across the blue line and leaving 1 man up forechecking. He'll be making sure all kinds of players between the Scottish team and the goal. And he won't be worrying about scoring a goal, he'll be thinking only about not losing a goal.
You just saw there Brian Canalicher, the Canadian coach of the Scotland team, who was the mastermind behind the Cardiff double side in 1989-90. And maybe he has a trick or two up his sleeve for the last 84 seconds of this international. What a vindication this has been of the decision to revive the fixture. 7-6 to England. Scotland on the attack. The shot was from Ryan Mason, and they're round there, swarming round that net again. Full hand. Interception. Tony Hand. A minute left. England will be happy if they can play down the clock. Now they've lost it. Mason, he's lost it. Got it back again. Lost it again. Scotland have taken their goalkeeper off. All-out throw now for an equalising goal. And there's some skirmishing going on off the puck. Scraped away there by Johnson, but the referee saw the trouble off, way off the action, and there's going to be a penalty coming here for somebody. a friendly exhibition needs to have a rethink here. Ian Cooper has currently gone for another spell in the sin bin, and it looks as though Tony Hand is going to join him.
Well, this was another marvellous move here. We could have had a goal here easily. Great pass and a great shot, and the goalie stood up well and it hit him right on the top of the chest.
And while all that was going on, there was a fairly fierce exchange going on the red line, and that resulted in Tony Hand and Ian Cooper taking their places in the sin bin with 20 seconds of the game remaining. England trying to hold on to 7-6 advantage. Oh, that was so close.
What a finish we got here. What a finish. And you'll see on this play, the Scottish team are each taking a man and hoping the spare man will get the puck here. But you've got 5 against 4 with the goalkeeper off. Each man takes a man, hope the centreman gets the spare puck, and
that's why Scotland had the extra man, no goalkeeper. They're gambling everything here for an equaliser with 8-7 seconds remaining. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and it's all over. England have won a memorable match at Murrayfield by 7 goals to 6. A hat-trick by Tony Hand, in vain for Scotland. But what a game of hockey there.
that was a fantastic game. Lovely way to finish ice hockey for 1991. Great credit to both teams for sheer guts and grit. And everyone who's come here today have had their money's worth and some.
So just to recap, Ian Cooper put England in the lead in the first period, and then the three Johnson brothers contributed a goal apiece to send England in 4-0 ahead at the end of the first period. Then that great Scottish fight back, Kelland, Tony Hand, Robertson and Hand again to make it 4-4, and then this ding-dong pendulum swing of a third period with Stephen Johnson putting Scotland in front, or putting England in front rather, Haig equalising, Perkins and Smith to give England a 2-goal advantage, Tony Hand